The majority of people in your life are self-interested, which is fine. That's not a bad thing, by the way.
Is that inherently all people?
Well, life is a value exchange. This idea that you should love people unconditionally or care about people unconditionally is a fallacy. You'll see people talk about this all the time. I'd love you if you were broke. No, you wouldn't. Your woman will say to you, I'd love you if you were broke. It's comfortable to believe she would. If you became broke and it was no fault of your own and you were trying to get rich again, then of course she'd stay by you. But if you lost all your money and refused to work and you gambled it all away and became a drug addict and sat on the couch and got fat, she'd leave you. Because her love for you is conditional. It's based on the fact that you can provide and protect her. Everything in life is conditional. When you go to jail or go through a bad circumstance, perhaps you can't give people what you were previously giving. And everything is a value exchange. So what you really learn about people is who you have tolerance and leeway with, who will remember the value you previously gave them long enough for you to then restore the value you're giving again. It's like a power outage before the power comes back on. Some people have shorter fuses than others. Some girls will stop talking to you after a week of jail. Some will wait 5 years. But eventually it's the same. Everything in life is a value exchange. So you have to understand that, especially as a man, because if you're a big man in people's lives, you're giving more than receiving. You give things. Important big men give things to all the people around them much more than they receive from anybody. So I think that's what you learn. But I already knew all of this. There's a lot of people who believe that love and friendship and all these things are unconditional, but that's bullshit. And it's always been bullshit.
They're all conditional.
Life is conditional. Breathing is conditional. Like everything is conditional. Like living is conditional. Your heart beating is conditional. If you don't eat food, your heart stops beating. There's conditions to everything. Women will say, would you love me no matter what? And the answer to that is no. If you stabbed my dog and set my mom on fire and chopped one of your tits off and then tried to kill me in the middle of the night, I wouldn't love you. No.
You mean to tell me that someone could stab G out there?
Nah, he's built different.
Nah, he's built different.
Yeah, but it's an example. So all this unconditional mindset isn't real. Everything in life is conditional. When you go to jail, the conditions change. And you have to see who's going to stick around for the conditions or who believe the conditions will go back. Maybe some girls don't believe you'll ever get out. It's all conditional. That's how life works. I wasn't personally offended by anyone I lost. I may have been surprised by a few, but I'm not offended by these things. I understand how the world functions. Most of you are going to end up exactly where you're heading. You have a path laid out in front of you, and it's pretty clear where it ends up. You're going to be a normal guy. You're going to have a mediocre life. Average, maybe above average. And that's fine, right? Because everyone has a normal life. And being normal or average is just failing so like the other people around you that you don't see it as failure anymore. The truth is, as the world becomes more competitive, naturally it becomes more polarized. There are going to be more ultra rich and more ultra poor. And what they're going to do is, as things get more difficult, it's just lower the barrier for what normal is. In the 1950s, the normal guy had a nice big house and 2 cars, and his children were well educated, and his woman could stay at home and take care of the house as he worked in a normal job at a factory. Nowadays, the normal life is for both partners to work and struggle to pay the bills. Soon, the normal people will eat the bugs. The normal people will live lives of serfdom and slavery. It is getting more and more difficult. Normal is no longer acceptable. And most of you, truthfully, are on a path to normal. Most of you are too lazy and too arrogant to put in the work and listen to the people who know and genuinely humble yourself and grind the way you need to grind to make any of your dreams come true. Start to actually consider the life you're building for yourself. Consider how your woman will look at you when you walk in the room. Will she respect you? Will she adore you? Would she die for you? Would she wait for you if you went to jail? I don't understand how you men at home are not furious at yourselves. If this video speaks to your subconscious on any level, you should feel deep shame because you're not a fraction of me. And perhaps you never could be me, but you could certainly be better than you are. And you're not even close to that. You are monumentally failing yourself. You're monumentally failing your bloodline. You're on the road to nowhere, and you don't seem to care.